Good evening, Hobby World. Welcome to episode 68. Is that right? Yeah, 68 of Personal Rips and Hobby Chat. Join us tonight as always as Bean's B Card Blog, and I am Herman, aka 3B Collections. Thanks for joining us tonight. Feel free to join into the chat in the conversation. How is everybody doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm excited. To hear about your experience.
Well, I'm excited to share it, and we talked about this before we went live. That I want to make myself slow down and not miss anything because, it was a real. It was a fun trip overall, and I really enjoyed it. So we got Bo. It stands to reason that he's the first one in chat, but we got Victor, which I met this weekend. It was great meeting Victor, and Zach. Great meeting him and Porter. I got a story about that a little later on too. Mark Hoyle and John Keating that couldn't make the show. But anywho, you good?
Whew, I am not dying. Contrary to what it may have sounded like.
That's a plus then. All right. So for anybody watching that may or may not know what's going on, bear with me. We will talk about cards, but this episode or show will be based on my experience of my first flight on an airplane and my first trip up north to Wisconsin. But we will get to cards and we will share some pickups. So, with that being said, this all started at about 3:30 Friday morning when I woke up and couldn't go back to sleep. And let me put that on mute because that's going to go off all night. Anyway, yeah, my flight wasn't until 10 o'clock Friday morning, and my original plan was to get there about 8:30ish or so, until I was told that I need to allow myself at least 2 hours to get through security in Atlanta. And so I'm like, all right, well, I'll leave at 5. Yeah, that'll get me there with exactly 2 hours to go. Set my alarm, and I set my alarm for I think 4. Woke up at 3, and I guess my nerves and excitement of actually getting there took over, and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I'm like, I got up, I sit on the edge of the chair in the bedroom. I'm like, all right, well, I'll get ready. I'll start getting ready in a little bit, and gradually I started just slowly getting ready. Next thing I know, it's like 4 o'clock, and I'm completely ready to go. Clothes on, shoes on, teeth brushed, ready to go. So I'm like, I'm leaving. Told my wife goodbye, give her a kiss. Went in my little girl's bedroom, told her bye. Take off to Atlanta. And when I get there, get to the airport, and I figured out real quick why I was told to get there at least 2 hours early, because the line for security was all the way out the door. 2 lines. Which, Atlanta is the second busiest airport in the U.S., so it stands to reason. But, and I've shared, I think we've talked about this on here, and I've talked about it on Bo's show that, my nerves was getting, was setting in and whatnot. But I realized right before, a couple of days before I left, that the biggest portion of my nervousness was really based on getting there on time and getting through security. I didn't know how to pack. I've never been on a plane. I don't know what they expect. I don't know what they look for or nothing. So I'm in line. I'm sitting here waiting to go through security, and I don't know. It took me 45 minutes, maybe an hour, to get up to the actual checkpoint to where I show my ticket, my ID, and I start having to take my shoes and belt and empty my pockets and everything, all this. So get up to that point, throw my bags in a bin, and before that, to back up a little bit, before that, I'm searching on internet like carry-on requirements. I've asked John, I've asked several people that's flown a lot. Everybody tells me not to worry about it. I'll be good, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to take nothing that I shouldn't. I don't want to overpack and have a bag too big to where they're gonna make me check it, because I didn't want to check a bag because I didn't want to go through the hassle of having to wait for it and whatnot. But so anyway, I get there, put my bags in the bin, take my belt off, empty my pockets, all that. Walk through the metal detector, goes off. Back up, try again. Go through the metal detector, goes off. Back up, stand over here to the side. I'm like, oh, shit. I ain't got nothing in my pockets, nothing. And so while I'm standing there to the side, I hear the woman that's telling everybody, just walk through. Don't slow down. You're just walking. I was like, can I try it again? No, you stand there. Shoot. Okay. So, my first time trying to go through security, I have to go through the body scanner. Go through that, and everything's fine. But in the meantime, I'm like, my personal belongings, including my phone, my watch, and everything, is like just going down the track, getting further and further away. And I'm saying, all I can think about is somebody grab my wallet, my phone, walking off with it, and then I'll be stuck with nothing. So I get through it. And at that point, once I get off everything back in my pockets, I'm like, all right, I've got 2 hours before my flight. That's how early I got there because I was so petrified about getting through it. So they give me time to kind of calm down and relax. And I went straight to my gate, found my gate, make sure I knew where I was going. And then I walked around and waited on my flight. So
did you ever figure out why you were going off?
Well, I figured that because she said, like I said, when they pulled me to the side, she started telling everybody, just walk through. Don't slow down. Just walk through. All right. I spent 16 years in the Department of Corrections. I had to walk through a metal detector every day. And they always wanted you to walk through slow. Basically, you paused in the metal detector and then walked through. And that's what I was trying to do there. I would step into the metal detector, pause, and step out, just like we always did. And when I was working with the Department of Corrections, and everybody else that I watched was like just walking, and they were going straight through. So, I mean, I guess that's why. I don't know.
You ain't got a metal plate in your head or pin in your shoulder or anything?
No, I do have two. I do have a pin and two screws in my wrist, my left wrist, from where I broke it about 29 years ago. But yeah, it like I said, that's the only thing I can figure. I mean, I wasn't so much worried about passing the body scan thing because, like I said, I knew I had nothing on me. It was just the fact that my wallet was like going on up the track and my phone and everything else, and all these people are going through picking up stuff, and that's always kind of been I mean, not a worry, but it's always in the back of your head. I mean, there's people out there that will just see stuff like that and pick it up and walk off.
What you got to remember though is that everybody else is also only worried about themselves. So
yeah,
usually, because I mean, I've had that happen a couple of times where it is what it is. I just keep an eye on everything. But
so yeah. All right. Let's see real quick before we keep going. We got Diego. Welcome. Yeah, Diego's the only one new in here. Porter's there too. Hello, Porter, my buddy Porter. I'll definitely get back to that. Zach, you'll have to make sure Porter sticks around because I got some stories to share about Porter as well. Anywho, so we get on the plane, and it was a lot tighter than I expected. You know, you see movies, and that's all I've. When it comes, like, this is my first flight. Everybody here knows that. Maybe there might be a few that don't, but you watch movies on airplanes, and they look huge. I mean, everybody's spread out. There's plenty of room. I walk up on this plane, I'm like, oh my God, this is tight. So I find my seat to sit down, and we get ready to take off. And I'm trying to, like, put it in the back of my head, don't worry about it. Just roll with it. Plane starts taxiing over to the runway. All right. We make our final turn. All of a sudden you hear the engines rev up and things starts moving a little faster. I'm like, here we go. All right. My first flight. And I could tell the lady that sat down beside me, I mean, she's flown before. She knew exactly what to do. She come in. The first thing she does is grab her phone charger, reaches under the seat, plugs it up, starts charging her phone. So she's been there before. She knows about airplanes. When the airplane starts taking off, first thing she does is closes her eyes, drops her head, sits back, and clenches her seat. I'm thinking, all right, well, and I told Bo this, and I've told it to a couple other people. When it first started speeding up, it was almost like being on a roller coaster. You know how when a roller coaster first starts, it takes off kind of fast, and then when it starts rising up, I see her. She's clenching tighter and tighter and tighter. I'm like, you've been here before, and you're nervous. It's bothering you, but I'm like, when it first rises and you get that little drop in your heart goes up in your throat. You know that feeling when you on roller coasters. I'm like, okay, all right, as long as things don't start getting squirrely, I'm good. We get it up in the air, take off. I'm fine. That's at that point I realized, I'm 49 years old. I spent my entire life worrying about airplanes, which, I mean, there's still the possibility. My biggest problem with airplanes is worried about what happens once you get up there and it has to start coming down. But, I mean, for the most part, it was like, once it got up and started settling down, it was like riding a bus, and I just kind of put it back in my head, and, I was good. So,
yeah, it's really, I say fortunate in air quotes that my first flight as an adult was both the one with the most turbulence and the longest one. So everything since has pretty much just been a cakewalk. It's pretty simple. But yeah, it's really not, like I said, even now turbulence, I'm just like, I know what to expect. I've been here, done that. So,
John.
But yeah, glad to hear that. All in all, once you got on the plane, you were good.
John said that I have to take the train. Yeah, I did have to take the train. I think, yeah, because I had gate C, which I'm glad I looked, because originally when I first looked at my tickets, I had gate D, and that morning when I got up, I checked them again, and it had changed to C. So, which I guess when I got through security with 2 hours to spare, I'd had time to figure it out. But yeah, I did have to take the train. So I have a hardware.
You didn't have to take
John
the train.
says the what?
You have to take the train at the Madison Airport lube shop brake repair place that you landed.
Dude, let me tell you what. All right, I'll get to that. Hold on, because like I said, I don't want to. Sorry, so we start coming down, or get ready to start coming down to Madison. And I'm sitting there at this point. I done relaxed. I'm good, I got my earbuds in. I'm listening to. Actually, I was listening to John Newman's Friday Friday show. So I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden, and this was probably one of the scariest parts about it for me was I was sitting here, and all of a sudden, and I know, we're like 30,000 feet in the air. You start feeling the plane go just like it's trying to stop in midair. That I'm like, I start looking out the window like, what's going on? And then I realized, okay, it's starting to go down. So, it was a quick, oh crap. Oh, okay. And I kind of had one of those when we took off because I was sitting, my seat was directly over the landing gear of the plane. So when it first raised up and the landing gear came in, I felt a big sudden thud. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Oh, that's the landing gear. So, but yeah, when I landed in Madison, when we were on the runway and I had, they told us we could turn our phones back on. I turned my phone back on. And one of the first things I saw was where Bo had tweeted a picture of our plane coming in, talking about a 3B landing. So we pull up to the gate. I get out and walk off the plane. It took me, I told you it took me almost an hour to get to security in Atlanta. When we landed and they start letting us unboard, it took me less than 10 minutes to get off the plane behind everybody else, walk off the plane, walk out of the gate, walk to the main entrance, out the sidewalk, and meet the 1 million Cubs. Less than 10 minutes at the Madison airport. I was like, this ain't Atlanta, So, yeah, Bo picked me up. I mean, I'm talking about curb service. Picked me up right at the front gate. And so we leave, and we start heading uptown, seeing a few places. Got a what I'm sure was an unplanned tour of Madison because he doesn't get uptown much, and that's his words, not mine. But he takes me to the Old Fashioned, which is a bar and grill, of sorts. He tells me it's the staple of Madison. Everybody that comes to Madison has to eat here. We order the cheese curds, and we eat, which I have to admit was pretty good. Which I love brats, and that's what I ordered. So, I have to take the train at the no train at the Madison airport. 12 gates. So, yeah, we go out to eat and then hit up to Walmart, pick up some Bowman blasters, get back to his house, chill for a while. And, of course, everybody, if you follow Bo, which I think everybody here does, you saw when we went live Friday night and opened some Bowman and, gave Bo his rack. And for those that participated, I want to tell you myself, Bo's already done it, but I personally want to thank Ethan for helping out and participating in that. So, and you were one of them. So, Saturday morning, get up, go to the show. So now we get into the show. I've been to 4 different shows. I mean, I've been to more shows. I mean, I've been to several shows at different times, but as far as in different areas, I think this was my 4th one. Which I later, after it was all over, told Bo that in the end, it was probably the biggest show I've ever attended myself, as far as number of vendors and number of people that was actually in at one time. Because there was times that in one area of the show, it was hard to move around between the tables because there were so many people shopping. And it wasn't people just browsing. They were actually, looking through boxes. They were actually making deals. They were buying, selling, whatever. So, I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to put on a show like that. I don't know how he did it. I saw Bo had a lot of stress on him. And it started Friday, not long after I got there. And now he's going from 2 ballrooms to 3 next month. I don't know how he's going to do it. He's going to have. If he does that by himself, he's a better man than I am. So, but anyway, Madison's great. I told Bo that, one of the first things that he had told me when we left the airport, you start seeing this building, which, it's kind of typical of the unique shape of a capital of a state. He points it out. He said, "That's the capital right there." And then I get to looking around and thinking, I'm thinking, the capital of Georgia is Atlanta. And anytime you get near the capital in Atlanta, it's like hectic as heck. It's awful. But Madison is more like here. It's more like Athens, as far as the number of people and the traffic and the roads around it. So that was kind of different. So anyway, back to the show. I guess we can move into my pickups at this point.
Well, we could either do that or the question I had for
you.
So.
You know what? Let me back up because I done the one thing I didn't want to do. I skipped over parts. When we got to Bo's house, the first thing, one of the first things it is he hands me a box and oh, I got this. This is your box, and there's a fistful of Freddie Freeman's and let me do something real quick. Let me see if I can get it going here. Don't need this. I'm going to try this. Bear with me. And oh, look at that. All right. Yep. He gave me here we go. Back it up a little bit. Oof. Gave me several Murphys and Freddie Freeman's. John, there's your post cereal food issue. There's Freeman's. And Bo, I did look through these, and I think there was 3 that I did not have, so appreciate it. Bowman. Of course, I'll take doubles and triples anytime. Then he took me back to his card room. And while he was doing some shipping, it allowed me to go through his dollar and quarter boxes. Kind of a private viewing.
Sneak preview.
Say what?
Sneak preview, VIP.
Oh yeah. I had I had went upstairs for something. We were kind of hanging out in his den or rec room, as he calls it. And when I come back down, he had jumped over in his card room, was doing some shipping, trying to catch up on the shipping. And then he's like, "Hey, here's my quarter boxes and dollar boxes. Feel free to go through them." So, I started digging through them, and this was matter of fact, the first one I pulled out, which I think I told everybody that I'd found myself starting to pick up some more and more Ozzie Albies cards. So I found the Ozzie Albies pink was the first thing I pulled out. So that was kind of fun. It was more than fun. I went through every one of his baseball quarter and dollar boxes. I did leave some Braves, but I did pull a bunch too. So
Left some for the kids.
I left some for the kids. That's right. That's exactly what I did. So, yeah, that, like I said, and at this point, and I've said this, I've told him and I shared it on Twitter, but, I just want to thank Bo again for, him and his wife opening their home up to me because, without that, I would have had to, rent a car, find a motel room, and it would have been, the expense would have been a lot more than what it was. So that made it a lot easier.
It's good to know low people in high places.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, I saw where Brad done the same thing for John for coming down to the Dallas show. So,
Well, I told my wife if the National ever gets down here, there's going to be like a dozen dudes sleeping in various places in this house probably.
Yeah.
She may, I don't know. She might want to go stay with her parents for a week. Yeah, every spare bit of floor is probably going to have an air mattress or something going on.
Right. All right. Let me grab the rest of the stuff real quick.
All right. Well, I don't
have. I'm
still
here. I'm still here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to carry the show.
I didn't want anybody to see my backside.
Fair enough.
All right, so we get to the show, and let's see, who all did I meet? I met Kevin. I can't remember what his name is on YouTube, but I met Victor, which Victor's in the chat, which was awesome meeting you. I think I said that before, but I met Ryan, ripping one-handed on Twitter. Awesome dude. I think I talked to him, which Bo introduced us, and he was kind of setting up, so I left him alone, but I came back and, I chatted with him for about 15, 20 minutes after. He had some pretty cool stuff. He had some bulk boxes of which, none of it would be anything I was interested in, but, he had bulk of soccer, basketball, football. One thing I did miss that I went back and wished I had picked up is he had some Garbage Pail Kid, like almost like Funko type dolls. And I had one that I was going to pick up for my daughter, but he had sold it by the time I got back. So I missed out on that.
Boo.
Yeah, that was my fault. I should have grabbed it the first time when I saw it, but
I was booing you. I was booing you, not him.
I know. I should have. I know what you're saying, because I should have went ahead and got it then, but I was trying to not. I was trying not to interrupt him while he was, trying to set up. But yeah. So then I don't know. I guess it was a couple hours into the show, and Zach and Porter showed up, and we did we had an open trade on Trading Card Database, and I had reached out to Zach, and I was like, "Look," I said, you're definitely coming to the Madison show?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, you want to just wait instead of us throwing these in the mail? We'll just do it in person." He's like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome," because the trade that he had sent me on Trading Card Database was for Porter, his son. And he's like, "Yeah, that'll be great." So I go ahead and pull everything, put it to the side, and meet at the show. We traded cards, and one of the Porter had added some stuff to the trade. One of which was, and I can't get this all in. There it is. It's the 91 Topps box bottom, which I was very excited to get because I have the card already cut, and I have the panel, the 2-card panel, which is the 2 lower sections of it. So now I'll have the complete, even though he's in the Phillies,
it's a rainbow.
I got the rainbow of the 91 Topps box bottom. So Porter, I appreciate that. And some of the, let's see, this was the big league nickname subset that was part of it. I was trying to get the master set on it, and a couple of 2 or 3 of the score for the hockey set. The top's big variation, Dale Murphy, a Tom House for my Braves binder, which was part of my needs. And this one he threw in. I'm pretty sure he threw this one in extra, but the Phil Necro that I didn't have for my Braves binder. It's actually in great shape too. And this is probably my favorite part.
71.
This was my favorite part, is the handwritten letter from Porter. I won't read it. I don't want to embarrass him. And it may not embarrass him, but. So while we're on that, Porter is 8 years old. And he can carry on a conversation like a grown man. I sit and talk to him probably 3 or 4 different times during the day, and him telling me all about what he collects and sets he's built and sets he's worked on. I could have sat there and listened to him all day. It was probably the best conversation I had at the show the whole time I was there. There were several times that, he'd be sitting over in a corner in a chair going through he actually was going through a box of White Sox that Bo had gave him while Zach was going through like a quarter box. And I'd sit down because I didn't been standing all day, and we'd start talking. And there was one set that he was working on, and Zach, you're going to have to help me with this. And he said he had all of them, but it was either the league leaders or big hitters or something. And I asked him, I said, do you know which ones you're missing? He's like, no, I just pick up all of them I see. And, but man, Zach, Porter is a great kid. Porter, and if you're listening, I will talk to you any day of the week. So, I wish that I can't remember if I told Zach or Bo, but my kids kind of dabbled with sports cards when they were younger, but they were never that into it like Zach is. To me, that's awesome. It'll help. It's got to help Zach stay in it, and at the same time, Zach staying in it because of Porter it'll help Porter stay in it. So, and the fuel the excitement that he has, of just going through cards. So that was my adventure with Porter. I should have spent a lot more time with him because, like I said, I enjoy talking to him. Not to be a creeper or nothing. So I picked, and I'll go through these pretty quick because we're already 40 minutes in. First box I hit was $1 box. I picked up some Braves and then just some random Braves, and I picked up a couple of cards for my let's see, there we go. For my binder set, a Rico Carter, a couple of Phil Necros, and a Ty Cobb, just because I pick up Ty Cobbs when I see them. This one is actually one of the short prints of Spawn that I pretty much had written off because I hadn't seen one. And it was actually just sitting there in the $1 box. So that was a great pickup. Then I think the next one, and I'm trying to go in order of how I picked them up. Next table I hit was I'm assuming is John. I'm sorry, Bo's go-to for his what do you call it? His packs.
The bulk
I'm
boxes.
drawing a blank. His what?
The bulk boxes.
No, his
Oh, the
Lord.
non-sport packs.
Yeah, the nostalgia break. There we go.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I lost the word, but I picked up a couple more cards for my Braves binders and pick this up.
Very nice.
This is the 1983 Panini sticker pack. He gave. I asked him the price on it, and he told me. He's like, I think it's going for $20. I'm like, all right. He said, if you want, and I got these three from him too. He's like, if you want it, I'll let you just have all of it for $20. I'm like, all right, great. I'll take it. But he also had a rack pack of the He-Man actual trading cards. He told me the price of it.
Did Bo mention that last week?
He mentioned it. He mentioned it because
Okay.
I think and the guy's name is John, which I did have to text Bo and ask him because I couldn't remember. But I think Bo told me he had offered it to him either last month or month before, and Bo didn't take it. And the price he was at, I kind of wasn't where I wanted to go, get it for. But funny thing is, I set it down and started looking at these, and as soon as I set it down, the guy next to me picks it up and buys it.
Womp, womp.
So anyway, back to what I was saying. He told me $20 for this and the three cards I picked up. I was like, all right, I paid him. We get back to Bo's house. And I open this little Ziploc bag, and I can't even open it now. Boom. It's 2-pack.
Well, there you go. One to open and one to save.
And I was going to say, that's what Bo told me, that I had to open one because this was personal rips and hobby chat. So, and let me look real quick to see which one I want to open because, all right, that's the better looking pack. So I won't open that one. I'll put that one back. So real quick, while we're here.
So do you remember collecting these as a kid? Did you collect the He-Man stickers?
I did not collect them. I was more into the figures. Hold on a minute.
Okay, yeah, same. I had the figures, and then I did the baseball sticker albums, but I don't think I ever did. I don't think I ever had.
I just saw this. These are already open. Look.
Oh, boo!
Wah wah. I'm not saying there's foul. I'm not saying there's foul play. It may be adhesive breakdown.
It may be because those things, even back then, I don't think they were pretty easy to get apart.
Yeah,
like I said, I did the baseball sticker albums in like '87 and '88.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we can go through both of them then. Let's see. Looks like that's part of a puzzle. Tila.
You got to actually show them though. You're kind of off.
Hey, we're not showing it. My bad. I'm not used to this camera. This angle. Who there? Did I freeze? Yep. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. There's the He-Man. Yeah, Bo, that's kind of what I figured. That's exactly what it looks like. The sorceress.
Okay. I had that figure.
And I've never seen the Panini stickers, and I'm assuming some of these, I mean, like this one would go into like an album and make one whole picture.
Yeah, I think those, like the baseball, they would do that. Like they do action pictures, and it'd be two of them with back-to-back numbers.
Yep. You know, even with these, you know, the adhesive breaking down these, I'm still good with them. They're going to go. I'm going to find some way of putting them in a some sort of protector and displaying them with everything else I have. Because, I mean, I still have all my He-Man figures stowed away.
They've got those off-size top loaders that you can probably get at your LCS.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good with it. It's fine. I mean, I got just having the pack. It's pretty cool.
So. The packs are certainly more rare than the actual stickers, probably.
Right, because I mean, you know, the packs get ripped open, and it's just like when
thrown away.
That's how I found this. I was trying to figure out the best way to open it without actually destroying the pack. But I mean, you know, it did me a favor. It was already there, so. Both said at least they weren't G.I. Joe card inside. All right, we'll move on. Yeah, what'll I do next? Let's see. Oh, picked up a 2010 Bowman Freeman. And let's see. I hit the quarter box and picked up some Jones, some more Braves, mostly Freemans, but I picked up four of the. I love these Star of the MIBs. And let's see. This was probably my biggest pickup. I picked up a stack of cards for my Braves binder. A lot of the older cards, and this is where John will perk up because I'm going to say 70s baseball cards, or 60s and 70s, I actually should say. First one I picked up was I picked up 3 of the 1966. Let me get on screen here. Here's one. Picked up a LaField Necro and Ed Matthews from the 66, which that leaves me. And I actually, after I looked at this and picked these 3 cards up, I looked back at my checklist and realized that the only card I have left from this set is the Hank Aaron. So I started going back looking for it with no luck. But then let's see. I picked up 12 of the which I really hadn't even started this year, but the 67 Braves. Most notably was where's he at? Jarvis. Rico Carty. And let's see, the next was the 73s. Nothing real big in here. Then picked up, was it 3? Yeah. 3 of the 74 tops. Like I said, these are all just kind of adding to my team set for my binders. And then the 74.
You have checklists of all those, or do you just kind of know off the top of your head?
Well, I mean, I have a checklist that I check off as I put them in which my checklist, I don't know if I've ever shown you or not, but my checklist, if I pull it up I've got it on the Google spreadsheet, and it tells me exactly what page and what slot in the page it goes in to keep everything in, so everything's in order once it's full. But 67.
Yeah, you'd mentioned that, but yeah, we'll get back to filling the binder.
Right. All right, and this is the one John's looking for. John actually mentioned this. I think it was on Hobby Roundtable, but was the 76. There's you some Biff, John. I got a Biff. But yeah, I picked up 11 of these. There was another set that I really hadn't started yet. I gotta get in the camera here. The Phil Necro. I think that was the only real name in this one. Yeah. And then the 78, which I picked up 4 of, with really was, the Necro was the biggest one. And what hurt was the fact that Nolan Ryan was on it. So, but no, I didn't give that for it. But yep,
it's kind of like when you want to buy the Jerry Kuzman rookie card.
Yeah,
you just
exactly. But
just
yeah,
need that
I like adding I like being able to add some of the older Braves cards in it, because it's I don't get to see them that often without trying to buy them one at a time on eBay, and some of those are, and those cards I actually bought from Tony, one of the vendors at Bo's show. That it's actually the vendor that Bo talks about having the binders full of the vintage cards. I think I spent about an hour and a half hunched over the table going through binders, pulling those cards out. And my back was killing me when I got done. But unfortunately, the first binder I looked at of his was the 72 binder, and his binder stopped somewhere in the mid 600s. And I'm pretty much all in the 700s on my 72 set. So I wasn't able to pick up any 72s for him. Hold on, I need to. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, he said he had a bunch of highs at home, and he gave me his contact to send him my list, and he's going to try to bring them, if he has any. He's going to try to bring them back this month and give them to Bo. So hopefully we can work something out. So John, you said the 70s from the 70s. Oh, my list from the 70s. You talking about like all the 70s? Let me write that down, because I will forget it time we get off here. I appreciate it. See, Paul. Hey, welcome, Paul. I don't know if this is your first time with us or not. He says Tony runs the Oak Creek show first Saturday of the month. His binder collection is nuts. Anything you want to feel collection, he's got it. Yeah, and he did have it. He did have a ton. He did tell me that he had a bunch of the high numbers that at home that he wasn't able to add into his binder just yet. And that's when I was talking to him about giving him my list, and he said just send it to him, and if he could find time, he would try to go through them. And John says, "Come to Dallas and we'll finish together." I can't do that. I'd love to. Actually, that's what I told Bo this weekend, that because he's talking about wanting to go down to Dallas too, or up, over, down, over, downish to Dallas to meet up with some of those guys. You included, Ken. And that's what I was telling him. This upcoming show would be the perfect one, because you got people like John coming down, and you kind of knock all of them out together. Which, I mean, he's already met John, I think. Yeah. But where was I at? Oh, let's see. I'm trying to keep up with chat too. Victor said he went through the binders, was able to pick up a bunch of Cubs cards. Yep. John says he's let's see. I'm going to change twice what Tony charged me. I'm confused. Bo says he's going to charge twice what Tony charged me.
He's gonna mark him up. He's gonna charge you double. Since he
Oh,
gonna
okay.
get them.
Well, see, the problem that is I told Tony that I would pay him through PayPal and he could just drop them off with Bo.
And then Bo's going to hold him for ransom. He's got to keep that business going.
Well, this is true. This is true. I'll probably see him on eBay and have to buy him again. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And then see, John said he's got miles. Yeah. That would be awesome, though. John, make him show. But you better talk to Mrs. 3B.
Hey Herman, you remember? Hey Herman, you remember when you said I might have to tell you to slow down?
Yeah.
You need to speed it up.
I just looked at that. Well, now we're at the end. We're at the end. But
then it was just right.
Yeah. But yeah, we at the end of the show, man, I ain't gonna lie, I was pooped. I was tired. And we sat down and outside of the show venue and over at a little bar and grill restaurant type deal at the motel, and Zach and Porter had ordered something to eat because they was trying to get back on the road because they was supposed to be some storms coming in and they were trying to beat it. But Bo finishes up, comes out, and we eat, and Bo goes back up to start, kind of getting everything together to leave. And I'm like, Bo, there's still guys out here, they're still selling cards, And we go around the corner, and there's like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 people sitting at a table, and they're still like got their cards put on the table. And I don't know if it was dealers that had to kind of come together, sit down together, or what, but I mean, we're talking about 2 hours after the show ends. They're still sitting there wheeling and dealing. That's about the only way you can put it. So, yeah. So, like I said, overall, the show was great. I enjoyed it. And I would recommend that anybody that wanted to, if you want to go through what I went through and jump on a plane and fly to Madison, spend the weekend in Madison. There's stuff to see. There's stuff to do. Spend the Saturday at the show, and then, you can tour Madison or the surrounding areas afterwards, which I think both said they got a big Brat Festival next month. And I kind of made the comment that I should have waited till next month and go, and I could have really racked up between cards and brats because I could eat them all day long. But the next morning we get up, and I got to get ready to get on a plane, and we're sitting there, and we'd kind of agreed that I need to get there about 11:45 to get through security and get on the plane, and it was about 11 o'clock, maybe 15 to 11. And Bo's like, oh, shoot, I meant to run in here. I meant to see if I could find that box of 80s cards. Jumps up, runs in his card room, starts digging through boxes. A few minutes later, he finds it. Sets the card and sets the box in the floor, and he's like, he starts going through it. And at that point, I realized why he always says that he doesn't really try to fill sets because he wasn't organized enough to do it, because the box he had was not in numerical order, but it was in alphabetical order. So it took a little longer. But I'm like 45 minutes before we got to leave, go to the airport, and we're sitting here going through cards. But it pays off because what I do with them. Oh, Lord. They're here. Oh, here they are. We picked up 12 of what I needed for the 80 set that knocks me down to 7.
First one, Julio? Is that first one Julio Cruz?
Jose Cruz.
Yep. Jose Cruz. I always confuse those two.
Oh, and I did skip this. Even though Tony didn't have any of the 72s, I was able to pick up 1. So now I'm down to 7 on my 72 set.
It's a nice looking card. Just the background, the color, the design,
and
everything.
It's clean too.
Card.
I mean, it's a little off center, but I mean that's kind of typical with 72s. You find me a perfectly centered 72 card, and I'll find you a fake.
Or altered.
Or something. Yeah, it's smashed and trimmed or something. But yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it. I found out that planes aren't as bad as I thought they were, even though the trip back was a little more hectic than the trip there because we get to Detroit, we land at Detroit, wheels down at 3:45. My plane from Detroit to Atlanta starts boarding at 3:45, and it takes 15 minutes to taxi down the runway. I sent my wife a video of me running down the terminal trying to get to my next gate. I'm like booking it. Last person on the plane. I thought they would have shut the gates on me. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna be here in Detroit all night. But well, we made an hour out of it.
You certainly did. You were worried you were going to go too fast. You paced it perfectly. Perfect pacing.
Yeah, and I will. Cooter, hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining in. Yeah. I did skip one thing. I did have, and this is for Dan. He's gonna have to watch the whole video to hear it. He already knows it, but I did have the spotted cow. Not my favorite, but I'm not necessarily a craft. I'm not necessarily a craft beer drinker or whatever. So I'm not the best judge of them. So
you are not the targeted clientele.
And if Bo was in here, tell your wife I did pick up some Wisconsin cheese and bring home. She told me one of the last things she told me before we left was he's like, you got to bring cheese home from Wisconsin. And I did pick some up at the airport and I brought it home. So
airport cheese.
Well, no, I mean
I don't know why I thought that was funny. I just did.
Yep. And it's about half gone now. So well, guys, I appreciate it. Those of you that stuck around and listened to me ramble about my trip to Madison, which is an awesome trip, by the way. Yeah. Boom Slang. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you're watching, hit the like button, share, give a comment, subscribe.
I guess I should probably go get
it. I'm actually up to 178. So, that's 8 more than I had last week. We appreciate it. And we'll do it again next week. Not the flight, but the show. Take care, everybody. See you next week.